Hello, and welcome everyone. We are playing in the land of fire. Domination. The instructions at the top right say, everyone rush to the middle instantly. So we are playing some arena, some tier 5 arena tonight. Arena pops up every once in a while here and there as a kind of a standalone game type if you get bored of the standard versus players or standard versus AI, right? And we are in the Fuso. Started playing as Fuso a little bit more just because I really like the Fuso. This was a fun kind of the Japanese battleships was a fun tech tree to kind of progress through. And the Fuso was probably my favorite. So like I have this ship just highly customized for sort of like range and accuracy build, just because that's where its strengths were to start with. I do like that you get a lot of turrets, but they only have 2 guns each. And then I was playing with it more because I got this fancy like paint job out of like a Black Friday, a random crate or something that I had gotten from like a World of Warships yearly anniversary celebration or something. So went through a lot of crates back when that was happening, right? So this is pretty cool that we got reload boosters popping up on the map, and of course everyone's gathering them. So it's kind of like, well, it doesn't really make a difference because everybody's going to have these anyway. But those are my favorite ones to get. Sometimes sometimes with the other boosters like consumables or rudder shift or something like that, sometimes I like to not get them just because then that way those icons disappear on the map when they get picked up, right? So we know that where we have an idea of where enemy ships are just based on those getting picked up, right? So yeah, if they're not super valuable, I'm like, man, just leave them there. Yeah, it's only good for the whole 15 minutes of the game, right? But some could argue that makes a difference. Maybe it does. Maybe. So we will go after this Hyuga. Just because he's the only guy spotted right now. Firing our guns gets us spotted. And probably by more than just the pink team. But it's kind of one thing to kind of keep in mind too when it comes to spotting. When when you're playing standard games, when you get spotted, you're spotted by the whole entire other team. If you get spotted here, it's there's a chance that like only one team is seeing you. So if you're trying to be sneaky, don't just like unload your guns just because you got spotted. It still might be worth trying to be stealthy so you don't get spotted by multiple teams, right? Especially if you're like a destroyer player or something like that. But game is starting off kind of slow. We're not doing crazy amounts of damage, and by not doing crazy amounts of damage, we still have 0 damage on the board, even though we've got 4 hits. So as I bragged about range and accuracy in the beginning, took us that many volleys to finally actually get something on the board for us. 3,700 XP. Arizona Ryan up. We're not going to do crazy amounts of damage at this kind of range to the big, heavy, bulky American battleships. But we can take chunks out of them with each salvo, so we will do that, right? So someone might prefer to switch to HE in that scenario, but fire damage is always a little bit more easily repairable. So most of the time when I'm in a battleship, I'm using AP rounds. There's some exceptions, right? But we will take our shot at the Gallant just to try and help get him off the board. Destroyers are kind of, as a battleship, destroyers are typically your biggest threat, so it'd be nice to just get rid of him. And with the minimum amount of damage we've been doing to the Arizona over here, so, we'll take that shot, right? Switch back to AP. So I think I had switched to HE shells just because I wanted to take that shot at that destroyer, but so you will do a little bit better off shooting HE shells against destroyers, right? You're a little bit more likely to like cause like incapacitations and maybe a fire. That might be a little bit beneficial, but I won't specifically just switch to HE just for one I'll use what's loaded, basically, is what I'm getting at. So, if he pops up again, he's getting AP rounds this time around, right? More shots at the Hyuga. We got fire going somewhere. Somebody didn't want to put their fire out, so we're getting some slow damage on the, it must be the Arizona. But it's getting us up to 36k. Now we're making progress. Slow and steady is going to win this race, you guys. That's the other nice thing too with Arena. You know, you're not solely relying on wins. Obviously, a win is helpful because you get an XP multiplier, but it's XP based, right? So if you want to progress through your reward trees and get more rewards out of the arena, you know, season or whatever they call it, when they have arena for those few days, you just need to get XP. So as long as you know, get some damage on ships, do some things, right? You can progress and move up. So. Some of the other game types I don't enjoy as much just because you like have to get wins. I'm like, ugh. Alright, we're getting people off the board now. No thanks to us. Can we finish off the Hyuga? Maybe get some guns turned around. But like sometimes my problem here is being indecisive, and I'm like, oh well, he's gonna die. So that pink team was in between us and like the dark red colored guys. So they had that was misfortune on their part. I hate it when that happens to my division, right? In those scenarios, you just do the best you can, or try and just press on. You know, don't try and fight both battles. Press towards one team or the other too. But now our concern is the zone getting capped, which we don't want to happen, right? Because, well, one, that ends the game. Two, then we lose. But because it ends the game, then we don't get, you know, then your opportunities to get more XP stop, right? So you kind of want these games to be long in general. So like if you're a destroyer, there's not a lot of benefit to just going in, capping the zone, and not doing any damage, right? So I kind of shy away from that unless it's kind of my only hope, right? But yeah, I've seen people right in the beginning of the match go right for the zone, and then nobody contests it and they win, and then it's like almost nobody earns XP that game, right? Alright, but now we can see the zones contested, so that means orange and red are in there. At least one from each team, right? Alright, so it's got to be their destroyer, since we're seeing Tennessee up over here. Their battleship. And we're just kind of being smart about our positioning and angling from these battleships, right? So just not being broadside is going to be, you know, that's making a world of a difference for us, and we're not taking lots of damage when we take hits, right? I'm still pressing in just because, you know, this is kind of just what I wanted to do, right? Like, you could make the argument, all right, like, our destroyer's in the zone now. You know, it could be advantageous to be a little more conservative and stay a little further back, especially given that the ship has plenty of range. But I decided to press forward, maybe be able to stick around with my team and rely on will to rebuild to kind of like survive here. Alright, so destroyer's popping up, but I think we got some island cover here. And so on the orange team. And then our destroyer is dropping smoke. I imagine that's for himself. Oh, nope, we don't have island cover. He's around. So we'll press forward and try and... so normally you want to turn in towards torpedoes, but I figure with this island here, I would end up hitting the island and still taking a torpedo, right? So we sneak past and turn away. But normally the smart thing to do is turn towards them. We happen to have enough time, right? Like that was a whole timing issue. Now we're in the zone helping cap. So if we can get rid of this destroyer, we'll be the ones putting on the pressure to kind of force people to come after us, right? But now we've got awesome coverage, and we could probably pick on this orange battleship over here, whoever this was, and maintain will to rebuild. So we could literally take all the fire, all the bullets for our team, and still have, and not die, basically. Just, almost invincible as long as we don't take big hits, right? But he didn't pop up yet, so that was kind of my plan and what I was hoping to see, but he not there anymore. Sad. But as I said before, Slow and Steady is winning this race for us, so we've got 79,000 damage done. Alright, Tennessee wants to fight first, so I've got the reversed going, and it'll take us a little bit to get going. But this is going to work out great because we've got this island coverage that we're sitting right by. So if I back up, that battleship in front of us might not be able to get decent hits on us. Yeah, that guy. And he really took himself out of the fight by backing up there. I would not have done that. Like, he had plenty of health. So it kind of doesn't make sense that, if you're looking at the ship count on the board still, there's literally only, from his, there's 4 guys, right? Like, well, 5 for him, right? Alright. Torpedoes miss us. So that's what I was talking about with this island. Like, the destroyer's being smart. He's not just popping around and showing his face. He's trying to keep himself out of line of sight, right? So that allows us to use the island for coverage from torpedoes too, not just bullets. But yeah, if he were to show himself and come around the island, like, everybody we would all team up on him, right? So he wouldn't last too long. And more torpedoes coming, so we will full throttle forward so we can avoid these. Obviously we're probably spotted by both teams, right? So anybody dumping torps is gonna, yeah. 700 damage we get down to. Will to rebuild to the rescue, right? I probably shouldn't have backed up. Like, I'm like sitting here preaching my strategy, and then I'm like not following it to the T, right? Like, using this island as torpedo coverage, and then I stick my butt out too far. But will to rebuild's keeping us going, and keeping us healed back up to 20%, as long as we're close to allies, right? Teamwork has really made the dream work here, right? Ha ha ha. Repulse, you can run away and fire all you want, bud, but somebody's gonna have to do the dirty work to come and challenge this zone. My other battleship keeping him spotted here. We can maybe get one last quick, cheap hit on him. Oh great, 2 fires, awesome. Back him up, back him up, back him up. Be nice to be able to help out our destroyer, but I don't think we're going to get back there in time before either he wins or loses that battle with that Fubuki out there. Oh. Yeah, too much fire. Good for you, Repulse. We will watch our buddy in our division, Senor Fuath, who was also rocking the Fuso. I think that was the other reason I picked it. Let's all be Fusos. Our Geed. So the I think the Geed has sonar, right? But somebody managed to finish off their destroyer, right? So if the Repulse, his only option here is to now challenge the zone, right? Like, so this is where it's like, you know what? This is where getting the zone capture is valuable, right? Because it forces them to come to you versus you having to try and like chase them down, right? So that's this is where we'll win. Either and that I would do the same thing if I was in his shoes, right? Just press forward. It is arena. It's not, you don't have to get the win, but either way, press forward, challenge the zone, see if you can get kills. You're also getting, XP. You're getting those defend medals, those defend banners. Those are also valuable XP wise too. So shots that he can get on our guys, great for him. And I do think arena allows you to end in a draw. So if we don't finish him off here, it'll be a draw, but we'll still have whatever XP gain. So we are now relying on these very last second torpedoes that that our Geed counterpart, our rando that joined our valiant team, We are relying on them to get this kill for us, and it looks like it's gonna happen. That is gonna give us a win. Hell yes. Nice job. Nice freaking job, guys. We'll see where we end up on the scoreboard here. But, like I said, XP, this was early on in this season of Arena, so somehow 10,000 put us in the top 50%. And we didn't even, like, well, you know, the Geed, he's got 3 kills, right? Like, you deserve it. We took a close second, sort of, right? Good job, good job. All right, yep, made a little bit of cash here too. 150K. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I've got some more World of Warships videos in the works.